Disaster after disaster, and Biden pedals faster. Yes, as old Joe toodles on his Schwinn, Americans take it on the chin. The president spent the weekend vacationing in Delaware, apparently the only place where he won't get lost. He enjoyed a beachside bike ride, ignoring reporters as he whizzed on by. He's just like Lance Armstrong, except there's no drugs that'll enhance his performance. Thank you. Nice. Now, aside from the buzzards circling above him, Biden's not the only one who enjoys the beach. Taliban terrorists snap these vacay pics, trading in tanks for pedal boats at a lake that's popular with horny spring breakers. And we do mean horny, since the bikini babes were all sheep. They remembered to pack sunscreen, Speedos, and assault rifles, which, was the original name for Life, Liberty, and Levine. One hopes with their new love of water, can soap be far behind for the Taliban? But back to Biden. According to Bob Woodward's new book, Peril, top aides have tried to shield him from long interviews and unscripted events. And by long, they mean anything that cuts into his pudding time. They call the effect a cocooning of the president, which protects Biden from tough questions and children from being sniffed by Joe Biden. By the way, Cocoon was an 80s movie about old folks starring Wilfred Brimley, who was 26 younger than Joe Biden is now. I didn't get a laugh. Meanwhile, the growing border crisis in Del Rio only worsens, and according to the polls, our country is as divided as Robert Shaw at the end of Jaws. Some unifier. No wonder even Biden's meaty defenders can't do their jobs.
So what does Joe Biden do about this? And what he has done so far hasn't really worked.
Well, and one of the things you hear him doing, frankly, is redefining what unity means. The blunt reality is that's not happening.
I think he's got a pretty big credibility crisis on his hands, because all of these problems in some ways showed up after he said something basically the exact opposite. He's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, that Chalk Todd. I changed his name to Chalk Todd. What do you think? Thanks. Joe, you heard the man. Get to work. What say you?
Look. I promised to be the unity president, and I'm delivering. All right? As long as you get your vaccination, and you wear your mask, and you voted for me, and you don't live in one of those red states, we're good to go. Everybody else, I'm beginning to lose my patience. Okay? So unity, everybody. It's on the money. E pluribus unum. You know what that means. Do everything I say.
All right. Tyrus, is Biden's advantage that he has so many crises that we cannot focus on just one?
No, everyone's focusing on all of them at the same time. That's why he's riding a bike. It looked like a late night TV, like Murder, She Wrote. Like he's showing himself riding bikes and typing on a typewriter and gardening and doing all the things around the house, except the entire world's exploding around him. Another thing I find interesting is Psaki, every time she talks, she always talks about his vast experience in these situations. He's been doing this for over 50 years. So what does he got to say?
Yes.
He should have some really good stories like, in 1985 this happened and we handled it this way. Or in 1997 this happened. Or in 2000 or in 1814 when I got my first pair of shoes after slaying the dinosaurs. But we're not hearing anything.
That is such a great point.
50 years of experience?
It's that sometimes you do things for 50 years and you just get tired of it.
But it's also the pageantry that they did 50 years ago. We got it on tape now. Not on tape. It's actually on your phone. Never mind. It's not on tape. That was like 30 years ago.
I would be okay if he said, Google me. Like, Google me in 85. That's the answer. Like, give us something. But
whenever you have some old guy at work who's a consultant or something like that, Rob, you remember this.
Sure.
Or you might be one.
Yeah, I
But the old, like, at least he goes, back when we worked on, the Sketch Bursum show, we did this. We had Yoko Ono shows up with a hatchet. We did. We let her swing the hatchet. Highest rated show ever.
Yeah. People didn't like her, and then they loved her.
Then they loved her. But so it's like he's like the consultant with no stories.
Well, he may not remember
That's true.
all of the things that happened. But also, it's to me, the strangest thing about it is that like there's this weird blip on the weekend where everyone didn't get a note, and so they were kind of telling the truth on those Sunday shows.
Yes.
I just don't hold your breath. I think Sunday they're going to be back in line. Sunday will be like, I don't think we recognize the complexities of the border crisis.
Right. That
It'll be like a lot of complexities in Afghanistan and the border crisis. They didn't exist 4 years ago. Now they're complicated. They're gonna get that's an anomaly. It's like when you're watching The Matrix when they say, oh, if you have a deja vu, it's The Matrix having a hiccup.
Right.
When you're on the Sunday talk shows and people like CNN reporters are saying things like, I think Biden's messing up. That's the blip. They're gonna fix that. They're gonna fix it.
Good point. You know, Kat, to put this in kind of your world, hearing Chuck Todd say such negative things about Biden, it's like your boyfriend testifying against you in court.
I can do better.
What?
Okay. To put things in my world, because I am vapid and only think about boyfriends, would be, it's like when your boyfriend ghosts you and you want to hear from him more. I do feel like that about Joe Biden.
Really?
I do want to hear what he has to say because he never talks. We don't hear from him. Remember, Trump was just doing rallies just because he wanted to? And everyone was trying to be like, stop talking so much. The more you talk, the more stuff that you can say that can get you in trouble. I would like to see one Joe Biden rally. Like, if our ratings are good now, imagine if he was doing rallies.
We deserve a Joe Biden rally.
No prompter. No prompter. Put him up there, just let him go for like an hour.
It's not going to work. Our show runs at 11. It'd be like at 4 o'clock. There's no way. He's in bed by 6. There's no way.
We can do it from him he can be in bed.
We could trick him by setting his clock ahead by 5 hours. I used to do that to my parents. Got my dad fired. Never was the same. KC, do you have any advice for the president?
Wow.
How much time do we have, Greg? To your point, I think when the Sunday shows, the people who did literal mental gymnastics to prove to us that he was the hero that we needed are now flipping the coin on this. I think that maybe it's sticking with the script. And maybe less ice cream and sniffing and bike rides and those virtue singles. We're good. We're good, right? Have a great weekend. Like Kamala Harris is flipping coins at college football games over the weekend.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was what game was that? Does anybody watch that game?
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. All I saw was the coin flipping.
It would have been nice if it would have been like Oklahoma and Nebraska, because then she'd been close to the border. But I'm sure it was probably Syracuse or something like that.
Exactly.
All right.
Canada.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.